Hello and welcome to Geeky Girls Journal. I am the hostess with the mostest, Andrea, and today, hello, hey, you ready already? I love it. I love it, Latoya. Thank you for coming in. So, if you are new here, my name is Andrea. This is Geeky Girls Journal, and I hope you brought all your questions, comments, and concerns, and you're ready to engage because that's what we do over here at Geeky Girls Journal. If you are a current subscriber, you already know what to do. Sit back, relax, get a snack if you need to, and enjoy this broadcast. Make sure you like it, share it out, and subscribe. I know that's a lot, but it's good for this channel. We need to get more eyes on this. So I thank you all for your support and your sharing and all those things you do. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started with this topic. I have a guest here today. I'm not going to give you all the most and go into all of the extras like I normally do. We're just going to bring her on in here. Are you ready? All right, great. Here she comes. Boom. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do the screen right. There she is.
Thank you for the subtlety. I appreciate that.
What she didn't tell you is I had a pep talk before I came on. So
Yeah,
hello.
her introductions tend to be extra.
Extra. Yes. Hello, everybody. Hey, TSM. Hey, Four Corners. Hey, everybody. How you
Hey,
doing?
everybody.
How you doing, everybody? Thank you for coming in. Don't forget to share this out. Remember, you all. So this is not rehearsed. As Star always tells you all. You already know that. Never rehearsed. We're just on here to talk.
Never rehearsed.
Never rehearsed. So we're gonna just jump right into the topic. Oh, I forgot my manners. How's everybody doing today? Just tell me in the chat section. And Star, let us know how you're doing today, and let us know if you
Hot.
have you're doing hot.
It's hot. It's hot here. Hot.
It's hot,
HOT. Hot.
hot. Oh my goodness! So it's hot. Okay,
It's very
well,
hot.
it's a little, it's hot here too. It's 70. Well, it's not that hot
No.
yet. It's not that hot yet. It's
No, no.
75. Yeah. So
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I know your hot is different. So
My hot is 90s.
yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Mid
Mm-mm.
90s. Hot.
Mm. So hey, Mr. Terry and hey, Miss Betty, how you doing? Hello, everybody. Yes, she is here. She is here. It is getting hot in here. It's gonna get hot in here with the topic we have. So the topic. Oh, I forgot. I can't forget to do this, you all. I just have to do the plug at the beginning of each live. I try to remind myself of that. I have the website in back of me, geekygirlsjournal.com. But if you would like to go grab some books for your daughters, sisters, whoever in your life knows girls, if you see girls, I don't care. Let them know about the books. They'll love them. It has high level vocabulary and it's very engaging and humorous. So check out some of these books and then we're going to go ahead and get started. But before we do that, I want Star to tell you all about the information she has because I do not want to forget. So she is back. So Star.
Okay, so yay, yay, yay. Hey, I am Betty. Thank you. Thank you for the welcome. So, for those of you that come regularly or irregularly, and you've seen me co-hosting with Andrea, Geeky Girls OG, I have been promising and promising and promising that I was going to have website information for my business, which for if you don't know, I'm a voice actor and I do voiceovers. And so, hence my studio. And so, I had been working on getting my website finished. It is finished. It is finished.
Yay!
So, OG Geeky Girl will drop a picture of my business card in the chat if she can. And if she cannot, it's very simple. The website is talkingmermaidvo.com. Talkingmermaidvo.com. So go ahead, take a look at it after the live, check it out. That's it, talkingmermaidvo.com.
Right. Make sure I didn't get it spelled. I didn't misspell anything. Talking Mermaid.
Talkingmermaidvo.com. Yes. So
Yay!
go ahead, check it out. You'll get to see what I'm all about, what I do, and how much fun I have doing it. and you'll learn a little bit more about me. Moving on.
Yes, moving on. And like she said, you all already know her. If you've been here, if you're freaking and you know this is going to be a great conversation. So we can just jump right on in it. Star and guest, the co-host over there in the chat. The conversation, the topic today is the kids are moving out. Now what?
Yay!
Not yay.
Yes,
So
yay.
we already know what you think about it. Would you like to expound on those feelings?
Well, if I must, I will tell you that I had two children by birth and two by marriage. Backing up, the two children by birth happened to be boys. I raised them as a single parent their entire life. And they're great kids. They were great kids. But it was time to go. And when it was time to go, I just ushered them out gingerly. Find a career, find a path, find something. It's like birds when they kick the baby out of the nest. Go fly, fly, fly away. Goodbye, bye, bye. Because now it's my turn. So I was so happy that when the last bird left the nest, I threw a party. And I think we talked about this in one other live.
You
It
sure
was the
did.
date, it was the dating live. And
Yes.
it's so exciting because Andrea will tell you, I threw a empty nest party. I just made that up. My nest was empty. I thought we'd have a party, hence
And we did.
empty nest party. Well, due, due to my excitement and my party, and by the grace of God, that's when I met my husband. So,
Go figure.
if your kids are leaving, and yes, I don't want to say I didn't lament, I missed them. We were the best of friends, even though I was their parent. We were still the best of friends, and we did everything together. But it was time for them to grow up and be men. And it was time for me to have fun, which I did. So, yes, that's how I feel about it. It's time to go.
Oh Lord, it was time to go. So you kicked them right on out the nest, or not kicked out. You said you kind of gave them a little nudge and like that. Well, You know what? I might as well share this at the top of the hour because you said something that made me think about this article that I read. Kids are moving out. Not really.
That's
Now
it.
we live your life. That's what Miss Betty says. Live your life. And you know what? Sometimes, okay, Star, you said it was relatively easy. Well, would you say, I don't want to misquote you, would you say it was relatively easy for you to kind of adjust to not having children in the house? Look at her face.
It was relatively easy. The initial thought was, oh my gosh, they're leaving. Because, like I said, it had just been the three of us for a long time. We moved to a large city from, my hometown where all my family was, and I took a leap of faith and I moved to a large city where I didn't know anyone when they were 6 and 3, and that's where they grew up. So it was just the three of us. Of course, we met people along the way, and God sent people to me to help me with them. It was definitely God, because I'm not one of these people that would just let my kid be with anybody. I don't know. I was very protective. But at the same time, mama got to have a break too. So, and I was still young. I still wanted the club. Not all the time because I was in grad school. So, I mean, but everybody needs a break, basically. And so, God sent people into our lives that were very helpful. And I am so grateful for them to this day. They will always hold a special place in my heart because they did wonders. They supported us. Um, so it was a little bit difficult to see my friends, my children, leave. But I was also happy because that meant that it was time for them to start another chapter in their life. And it was time for me to start another chapter in mine.
Ooh, ooh. Right, another
Yeah.
step.
Yeah, another step. And then by the time they left, I was still relatively young. I was in
Yeah.
my early 40s. I still had a lot of vigor
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
and I was ready to go.
Ready
So,
to go.
there were times when I was, alone in the house and it was awkward, but I'm the type of person that I can entertain myself. I've always enjoyed my own company.
Yes, I have that problem too.
I mean, I enjoy my own company, so it
Got
wasn't, oh, what am I gonna do? I gotta hang out with somebody. No, it was me, my books, my music, my movies, and God. So it was cool.
you had a full party to be. Look, that was a crew right there. Hi Scott. I want to just make sure I said hi to you and John Paul. Thank you for coming in. But yeah, that sounds like enough. That sounds like enough. And when you love yourself, you don't have to have a whole crowd of people. And I mean, I'm not saying that people don't love themselves if they do choose to have a crowd of people. I'm just
Right.
saying I don't have that issue either. I could be by myself and be completely fine and have a great time.
I mean, turning
Entertain-
cartwheels, doing the shaboing boing. I I
That's
had
a
I had personal dance parties.
personal dance parties.
And there are some benefits to when kids aren't in the house.
Like, share. Please share for those
Like,
of
I
us
don't
who.
have to worry about putting on a bathrobe.
That's what I thought you would say. You can walk
I'm just
around and be free.
saying,
You can be free. You can do what
I
you
can be
like.
free. I don't have to worry about who ate the last piece of cheesecake.
That's right. Because ain't nobody
I
nobody
don't
said,
have to worry about bathtub rings.
oh my goodness. You don't have to worry about if you have leftovers and somebody just ate them. They mysteriously disappeared.
Yes. No, I don't have to worry about who left this sticky Kool-Aid cup out on the counter.
Right. You don't
No
have to worry
one.
about children popping into your lives,
Exactly. Exactly.
cute or not.
Non-camera shy children. You don't have
That's
to worry
right.
about that because they're gone.
They are all gone. You don't have to worry
Bye-bye.
about it. Bye bye. And Associate Minister in Reserve Deacon Mr. Terry Jones says the adjustment can be hard for ladies who are nesters. Nesters love to make a house a home. Nesters have their personal identity wrapped up in the service they will provide to other people. My mother and Monty was a nester. I see that last comment.
And
Okay.
and you're right. And I was a nester. I made a house a home, but like
Yeah.
I said, I still had a little bit of youth vigor left. I had lost 20 years of what other people were doing because nowadays people they don't have children a lot of times. Well, no, I can't say that because there are a lot of people that's having children very young. But there are now with people going to college and stuff, they delay having children and they don't have children until mid 30s, blah blah blah. Well, I was almost done by then
Yeah.
because I had children at 23. That was the first time I had given birth. So, and I had had enough partying, don't get me wrong, but I was still very young.
Yes, you
And
were. I
and
was
I dedicated myself to that because children are always a blessing from God, no matter how, your circumstances like, yeah, I want to be married, I want to be this. Well, they're still a blessing, and yet they are. But cut those apron strings, I beg you.
you said come.
It's also good for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is good for them. And I know, okay. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
take
let's
the
hear your side, ma'am.
yeah. So my side is because you were finished having kids. I was still having children at your age when you were finished. So
Ooh, bless your heart.
Lord, just send a prayer to Geeky Girls Journal, everybody. Hey, bad butt. Thank you for coming in. So yeah, well, I wanted to read Latoya's comment. I went past it, but I'm gonna go back to it because she was saying something about she had one.
I see it.
Oh, you
I
see it?
see it. Mine should
Mine
have
should have
stayed
stayed.
because we're gonna get to that, Latoya.
We'll come
And
back to it.
mine do too.
You
Never
know what?
mind. We're
Yes,
gonna get to that.
We'll
That's
come back to that, Latoya. Let's try to remember. We're gonna stick a pin in that. I don't know how to do it on
stick a
here, but
pin in that.
we'll stick a pin
Remind
in.
us, Latoya, because we forgetful. But
Yes,
yes,
remind us to
we
it.
will talk about that.
Yes, that's gonna be the next topic. I just wanted to share this part of this article that I was reading from Psychology Today, and I'm gonna put it on the screen real quick. I don't know what's gonna happen to you, but we'll see what happens. Boom,
I'm
there we
gonna
go.
disappear. Oh, there I am.
Yeah. So this one says the empty nest syndrome. I got it from Psychology Today, as you can see. And I wanted to show people so you all wouldn't think I was making things up. But it says empty nest syndrome refers to, well, I wanted to read it because Star, you were saying, giving us your experience. And then when I was reading these articles earlier, I was like, wow, it almost makes you not want to be an empty nester reading these. I read more than
Don't believe the hype.
yeah. So it said empty nest syndrome refers to the distress and other complicated emotions that parents often experience when their children leave home. Of course, people want their children to grow up and lead independent lives. However, the experience of letting go is often bittersweet and emotionally challenging. Then it was just talking about how the parents feel lonely, sad, they had some degree of grief. I was reading some articles when it was like they had some parents have depression, and then it went on to say how women. This article was kind of similar to the other two I read. That's why I just used this one, and they were all kind of in line saying that women normally suffer the most. And I'm like, okay, that goes along with, I guess, what Minister Terry was just saying about women being nesters and all those things. But also, uh, in some families, women are the primary caregivers or the ones that are the stay-at-home moms. So I can see how, those issues would happen. I am the primary caregiver in my household, the stay-at-home mom. And I was reading this and I was just like, so with my first stuff, I didn't really experience those emotions like that depression. I was more
That's
like,
because you're disconnected. Anyway,
let me.
sorry.
So
Go
I
ahead.
can take it
Sorry.
off. Do you all want to see any more of this, or I mean, we good with the article? It just
I think
goes on.
that's a good start.
Yeah, it's a good start. I just wanted to make sure that people knew what the opposite side of it was with the actual empty nest syndrome. These are some of the symptoms
Yeah.
they said other people have. So I'm going to stop sharing that screen and go back to you, Star, or Latoya's comment. Let's see. I'm going to put us back up there. So Latoya, we can shift right back
So
into
wait.
what?
You didn't
What
tell
happened?
us how you feel. You just said that one.
Oh, I did kind of gloss over
Now
that.
you got another one.
So I had two. So with the first you I was fine the whole time until right when we pulled up to her college, her campus, and everybody was all right. And then she kind of got emotional. And I was still holding on strong. And then all of a sudden I felt this one tear come down. I was like, what is happening? And I was like, oh, because
It's true. I did the same thing.
yeah, okay. Woo. I was trying to hold it together
No.
because it was so weird though, because I was fine the entire time, like the whole time
Mm-hmm.
when they're packed up, getting her ready. I was like, girl, you out of here, you start a new life, have the most fun, like enjoy college, that whole speech, enjoy college, this is the best time of your life, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Then we got to that campus and right in front of her dorm, and then it just took a hold of me. I couldn't even I couldn't even stop the tears. And
Well, mine was like when I was getting ready to drive away and we're standing there waving. Okay. Gave a hug several times. Okay, I gotta go. And then I'm in the car and I'm driving back by I'm driving away and he's waving like, bye, mom. And I'm like, oh,
yes, ours was similar. So I got all okay. So by this time, everybody in the vehicle was crying when except for one of your nieces, the third. She was just like, okay, what are we
oh,
doing?
yeah,
Like, are we leaving?
she's disconnected like you.
She's great. Yeah, she is. She
She's
is.
so
And she was like,
disconnected. She's like, yeah,
what are
whatever.
we proud about? We can see her when we want to see her. And it's like everybody was like, okay. So I was the one, of course, who was chosen to go walk her up and say, so I took her, and before like probably 500 feet outside of her, the dorm entrance, like going into the building, we were standing there, and two of her roommates were walking past us. No, one of them, and she was with another friend. And all of a sudden, I was like, okay, goodbye. You got to go in. I'll see you later, and all this stuff. And then both of us were boohooing. I was giving her a hug, and I'm just like, what in the world? And I was like, okay, this is not me. Why am I crying? Why am I crying? And then her friend is looking, she walked past, she's like, are you all okay? I was like, we're fine, just we're good. So after that though, I
But I
cried, and then I was like,
think that is, I mean, it's kind of the same when your child first goes to school.
yeah,
And this is speaking from a mother point of view. I think I'm not to say that fathers don't love their children, because they do,
Right.
but dads love very differently than moms. And there
Yeah.
is something quite different about the separation. You've been with that child since conception.
Yes.
You no one can understand that unless they've experienced it. Even
Hmm.
if you're a woman, and if you've never carried and had a baby, and cared for it their entire life, and wiped their snotty nose, and went through this
Change
and
the
this and
dirty
that,
diapers.
you have been with this child since conception. Your
Yes.
voice was the first voice they ever heard.
Yes.
Your heartbeat
You know your
was the
heartbeat.
first thing they ever heard. Your emotions, you ate the very first thing that they,
You
ever
make me tear up
ingested.
saying all this stuff.
I'm just saying. Well, I'm
Yeah.
trying to break it down, because I think that a lot of people think that women are extra. Oh, it's
Yeah.
not that big a deal.
Right.
It
Yes,
is a
it
big
is.
deal for us, because if you look at it from that standpoint of view, it is a big deal. If you've had someone with you since conception,
Yes.
yeah,
Hmm. And don't even add feeling the kick and just knowing that you have a child in your
right.
tummy. All of that.
Yeah, the guy can put his hand, the father can put his hand on your belly and feel the kick, but you the one feeling them field goals. And I
Yeah.
had field goals. 'Cause
Yes.
I had boys, and they
And
was
those
wrestling going on in there, and
my kids, I thought look. It felt like they were on a trampoline, and then you felt those
right,
electric, those surges sometimes. Like, whoa,
right. I mean, you literally shared your body with another human being. So
you were
I'm
more
not
other things with those.
right. I'm not, um, I'm not diminishing the
Right.
power of that. So have shedding a few tears when they first go to school for a whole day,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
and then you get used to that,
Hmm.
and then you get through that, and then now they have to go away to go to school or to the military, and now you're not around.
You.
It's frightening.
Oh, that's the hard part.
It's frightening.
It's
And
frightening.
I'm still frightened. And my kids are in their 30s.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't think that ever
And
goes.
now I have girls from marriage, and
It's frightening.
as high as 40. It's frightening.
That's a
This
great
is
word.
frightening.
You just put those things into words that I could not express, but it is frightening. And I don't know if it gets better because just not having them in my vicinity. And now, like you said, I have a second one going away. And they're both going, one is in a big city, one is going to another big city. And it's just like, oh man,
And because you know what's out there.
yes. And you think about all the things that could happen, and you're not there to, I know we can't protect them from everything, but I like to be able to control some of the issues and some of the environment, some of the, things that could potentially happen. And it's like you're just releasing them, just like little baby birds, like you said. And you really had to put it into the hands of God. You
That's
really had,
it.
yeah.
It's called prayer and supplication.
Where you see that? Oh, let me read these comments. So,
Yes.
GA girl, thank you for coming in, GA girl. I'm gonna catch up real quick, Star, if you don't mind, if
No,
you're
no,
finished.
no.
Okay, I've been going through. My daughter just moved to another town. I've been emotional. I'm adjusting. I know she sure did. I saw her house, beautiful house too. I know we're so proud of our kids too, aren't we? She said, my daughter's 35, but I'm still a mom. Right. We're still moms. That's what we're talking
Yeah.
about. Shared you out here. Listen, thank you. Let me see. I know Star said another comment. I'm gonna try to find my way down. Oh, Latoya. Latoya says, I cried when my two daughters graduated, but I know I'm going to be a mess next year when my only son graduates. Yes, and you will be.
You will be.
Mhm.
But for a moment.
Hey, Kay. But for a moment. That's right. Hey,
Because just
Caitlin.
like you adjusted to when they went to school for the first time for a whole day, that took some adjustment, you know? And this is correct. Please read this comment. Thank you.
This one, Mr. Terry.
Yes.
Okay. The reason empty nester syndrome happens is the parent doesn't have a personal social life outside of their children. That is true. Also, they don't know how to have emotional funeral. The process of letting go. I wanted to see if he had more. Okay, because I know Mr. Terry usually has more. Yeah, the process of letting go. It's a process for
It's a
sure. Oh,
process.
other situation. I see it.
Like I
Mhm.
said earlier, I had to get used to it. But, you know, God doesn't want us to stay in one place, and neither should our children stay in one place. It's called growth. You can't be a baby forever. If
Yeah,
you are, there's something wrong. If you look at um, the unfortunateness of some diseases where, kids never grow up, they're never going to leave home. Imagine how that parent feels. That's
right.
devastating. My
Yeah,
daughter or my son will never be married, never be able to live alone independently on their own, never be able to do the things that normal people do. So you don't want that, you know? Yeah, they're cute when they're a baby, but they have to grow. And this is by design.
yeah.
We all keep growing, you
Mm.
know? So, yeah,
Yeah, just like you said, you made me think about the Bible verse that's talking about. Wait, is it a Bible verse? Talking about being fed milk, and then now
right.
you
Now
have
it's
to
time to eat meat.
time to be on meat now, and that's how I'm looking at it. Because they have to grow up. They got to continue to grow. You don't want to stunt their growth. You want them to develop into productive adults. And can they really blossom the way that they really need to if they're always under your hand?
No, they
So
can't. And women are notorious for constantly whipping that boob out. I'm guilty too. It's a mother thing. If
yeah,
you hear the bird crying, you be like, "What's that?"
what
Oh, yeah.
happened? Tell me
The
about it.
dad is like, they'll be all right. They gotta
Go.
learn. They gotta
Yeah,
learn. And we're like, let me, ooh,
that's so true.
what we gotta do.
I
It's a
was
mother
making
thing.
That's so true. When I dropped my eldest off to move into her apartment, but this was Sunday. I was in there talking to all the roommates. She didn't even care. She was just going about her business, doing what she doing. I'm like, yeah, well, we need to get this straight. Let me talk to the person who is over this building. Where's the property manager? I'm asking 100 questions. How can I get in touch? I'm getting information. What's his email? What's his social media? What's his number? I want to be able to contact this person at all times. What happens if this went wrong? Wait, the refrigerator's not working. Why isn't the refrigerator working? Okay, I need to talk to
How's
him about
she
this.
gonna eat?
How she gonna eat?
Oh,
Is that
she will eat.
and
She'll
I'm all
figure it out.
like the refrigerator, and she's the roommate was giving me all of these. Okay, they said to do this, and I'm like, wait a minute, what else happened? So give me a list of everything not working in here, so I can talk to the property manager. And I'm going on and on. And my husband's sitting over there like he just looking at me. You already know. He just like Drea, Drea.
Yeah,
And then my daughter's like, Mom, come in here. It's all right. Why are you bothering her? I was like, listen, I need to make sure things are in place before I
we
leave
need
here
to make sure everything is a-okay, hunky dory, all that in a bag of chips
in a bag of chips, and they ain't
because
even
it helps
ready.
us to rest
Yes,
and be confident that okay, they're good. But one fault, and I'm telling, who is it that said that? My daughter's 34, and I'm still,
hey girl.
yes, ma'am. My
Yes,
son is 34, and if he calls me in distress, I'm just like, oh.
right.
And I
What can I
never
do?
had a husband while they were growing up. So now my husband is like, let them figure it out. They'll be
Yeah,
okay. And I'm like,
right.
I gotta fix it.
Right. I'm
I
always
gotta
fixing.
fix it.
I'm a fixer.
And he's
And
like, how will they ever learn to fix it if you keep fixing it?
yeah.
And I know he's right. Just let me just help fix it
Yeah.
a little bit.
Right. Let me just
Just
do
a
a little
little
bit.
bit.
It's
I've
just a
gotten much better. I will say this. But as a mom, because I've known this person since conception,
mm-hmm.
and even then, even with My inherited daughters, I took that on. Let me fix it. I got
Yes.
to fix it.
Right.
And dad is like,
He
they'll
just
figure it out. They'll
they
be
kicked up
okay.
on the couch with the legs crossed. They'll be fine. Let them do it. Let them figure it out.
So
My
cavalier.
Yeah, very. It's so nonchalant. It's like my husband said the same thing. He's like, Drea, she's grown. Let her do it. And I'm like, she don't know how to do it the way I know how to do it.
Right. And their needs change. Speaking of the 34 daughter and those of us with older children who are full-fledged adults, their needs change. So this whole process that we've spoken about is constantly changing. It's constantly changing. And like
Yeah.
she said, now it's money. You know, can I borrow $50?
Let me get right.
Yeah.
Can I get $10?
You know what?
Use oil or something?
Right. And it's like, okay. And it makes a difference if your child is squandering money
Yes.
or your child is really giving it the old 1-2 punch. I'm trying, but I just.
Yeah.
And it's not an all the time thing. So, you know what I mean? And they're
Yeah.
not at my house on the couch, not working. You
Right.
know, we're very fortunate, knock on wood. Our kids work.
Hmm.
I mean, that's a top priority for them.
Yes.
Sometimes they have more than one job. They're Jamaican. They have more than one job.
Right. I got more than one
They
job,
got
man.
5 jobs. But, some people don't have that. They don't have, their kids are like, yeah, I don't even want to leave the nest. I'm comfy here.
Yeah. Exactly. And like you said, what's the that's the opposite effect. So what do you do in that situation? Like, okay, now you see parents
Now
on like,
you need to get out.
you got to go. Get yourself a job, do
Yeah.
something. I don't, what's your plan? That's when you hear the parents start talking about, okay, now
What
now
is
what
your plan? And now the big thing is, well, they can't pay back the student loans. Our kids have student loans. Hey,
we
like
have
I did. Sorry, sir, I don't have it.
I can give you $20.
Or this is what I can pay.
Right.
Take it or leave it.
Can we set up a plan?
Can
Another
we set up a payment plan, sir? You
right.
know, they have to learn that too. And yeah, you're going to have to do some level of guidance along the way so that they understand how the process works for anything. Getting your gas and electric turned off. Huh? You can't let that happen because
Mm-hmm.
now you ain't got no TV.
Now you
You
ain't got
can't
no
even charge your phone. You know.
right. Once that
So,
happens, it's a lesson. They learn, okay, I guess I better pay
right,
on time.
lesson learned. And we've had
It's just
that.
yeah. Sometimes I know. See, we had to learn lessons the hard way, but sometimes you like it's my child. I don't, I don't want them to learn it the hard way, but they do have to learn it the hard way because they'll learn just like we learned, and
They have to.
they have to be self sufficient. It's
And
just
yeah, it reminds me of the Vanessa Bell song, If I Could. Every time
mm,
I hear that song, it brings tears to my eyes because whoever wrote that was a mother.
yeah,
And in the words of the song, she says, if I could, I would try to shield your innocence from time. But that part of life I gave you isn't mine.
mm,
And
mhm.
for a woman, that's like, you're
Yeah,
like, I wish I could take it for you,
yes,
but I can't.
can't
You've
take
got to
it.
do that on your own.
They got to do it on their
I'm tearing
own.
up.
I know you gonna make everybody tear up over here. Oh my goodness,
I'm tearing up.
I
But
was
yeah,
GA girl. Okay, she said multitasking. It was another comment GA girl had up here. I was looking at. Well, Latoya said, "I'm happy that my two youngest asked to help cook before they were 10. You can trust their food, but don't trust food from my oldest."
I
That's
mean,
kind of
but yeah, but Latoya, sometimes and rearing children is a trial and error. You don't get a manual when they come out. And they
Oh no.
all need something very different because they're very different people. So, yeah, you may get a slob in one and a neat freak in the other. And it also may be hereditary things. So there's so many variables with being a parent
Hmm.
and dealing with children, and this is all that happens and develops over the time. And then you got to let them go.
I
Bye
let them
bye.
go. Right. Bye bye. You just gotta trust that you laid the proper
You lay
foundation.
the foundation. That's
Now they
exactly
gotta
correct.
you have to go
That
experience.
voice of reason will whisper in their ear, just like the Holy Spirit tells you, I don't think that's a good idea. You shouldn't do that.
Right.
Now, they're either
Exactly.
going to listen to it and
Or
learn the
choose.
hard way, or they're going to be like, oh, yeah, mama said not to walk down that dark alley. That ain't a
Hmm.
good, yeah.
That might not be too smart. That's true. They have to. Yeah, it might be a hard process for parents that you know want to maintain that control. That side of it for the children, but we got to let them go and we have to let them experience life just as we did. We learned, we had some hard lessons, and we had those times, like you said, when we listened to that that voice or the Holy Spirit. And
Associate Minister has a comment here.
let me go. Is it down? Did you
We
see that
must
one?
remember.
I'll
Yeah,
go. Can I
that one.
let me go back to him? Let me put this one up? The GA said, thanks, this topic I need to hear this. I'm seeing my babies today. We just did a vacation together. No matter if my kids grown, I will be a part of their lives. That's a moment.
Absolutely. Mine coming to see me tomorrow. I'm
Yeah,
so excited.
yes, they sure are. Now I'm going to Minister
Although
Tate.
one isn't going to make it.
Oh man, did you just find that out?
Well, kind of, sort of.
Oh,
But it's, I got three.
that's right. 3 out of 4. That's still
Yeah. So,
25.
hopefully, she'll be able to come next time, you
Yeah,
know.
but
But yeah, yeah, and they good and grown, and I'm just as excited as ever.
hmm yeah, you. I don't see a problem with that. Is this the comment you were talking about from
Yeah,
Mr.
it
Tate?
was he's
We must
yeah.
remember it's better to help children build a nest than to force a child out of the nest. If you build your child's foundation right, at some point they'll want to naturally separate from you.
Unless they
Mhm.
got Hamlet syndrome.
He said
That's
separation
another topic.
separation is a part of growing into an adult. Yeah. Yeah. We must remember nobody came out of the womb knowing everything. They sure did not.
They
We
know
none of us
nothing.
don't know. Minister Terry, you giving some good little. We must remember an experience is a failure if you didn't learn anything from it. Okay. Hey, Miss
Yeah,
Lauren.
that is very correct. Experience is a failure if you didn't learn anything from it. Yeah, ain't nothing worse than an old fool. You should know better.
Right.
I mean,
You
you
should.
should know. You have less sympathy for someone who's young and they make a mistake and you go, ah, but somebody that's 50 some and they do something that they should have learned a long time ago, you like, come on, dog.
Right.
You're
Like
like,
what is that about? Huh?
you're less sympathetic because you think, oh, you didn't know any better than that at your age?
Yeah, you think they should have at least had a life experience or
Exactly.
known somebody who
By
went through it.
then, or known somebody who had it. And
Yeah.
then, oh yeah, that's probably not a good idea. But when you do stupid stuff in your latter years, people are less sympathetic because they feel like you should know better. And you should.
Yeah, you
You
should.
should.
Perhaps they didn't have, maybe they didn't have the experience they needed. Maybe they
But you can learn from the experiences of others and the
absolutely,
failures of others.
you sure
I
can.
mean, you ain't got to go steal the gum to know that you can go to jail for that
Right.
because somebody else already did it. Well,
Somebody
I'm
did.
not going to walk down that road.
And then some of those experiences that others go through, you do not want to go through those experiences.
Exactly.
It's
Ain't
within
there's
your
no
best
need.
interest to just listen and learn from their mistakes.
Yep.
So
Watch, observe, and pray because everything that happens need not experience it, but that is also a part of your experience, watching others experience it and learning from it. So that's why I
Mhm.
say when someone is younger and they make a mistake, they make a mistake. Oh,
Yeah.
you're 15, you get pregnant. I told you that's what's going to happen. But if
But
you 40 something and you mistakenly, and I'm not saying that can't happen, it can,
yeah,
but you're like, what were you thinking?
yeah. It definitely can mistakenly happen, or it can,
It can.
God's plan might be something
It
different.
can.
You
It
thought
can.
you thought you were done, and then here come two more.
I know. And that might have not been the best example, but I just something
No,
that just
yeah,
popped
I
in
know.
my head because like I
Yeah,
said, children are a blessing. Believe me,
yeah,
they
they are.
are.
Mhm.
Especially when you rear them in the fear of the Lord.
Yes.
But now if you reared them from the book of Satan, you got
Now Satan spawns. Oh my goodness. Who?
I
So
mean,
what
and
we're
I've
telling you
seen
all,
some.
it is
I
best
have
to
I
walk.
have seen some.
Yes, I have as well. I've
Well,
seen.
yeah, because you were a teacher and I
Yes.
suffered. Yeah, I saw some spots.
Oh, yes, and it can happen. So what we're saying is raise your children in the fear of the Lord, the reverence of the Lord. That way
Yes.
it won't go wrong,
And
right?
then you will be more confident in being an empty nester because, like I said, I celebrated empty nesting. And after that, look at God. I
Look,
mean, I've
woo,
skydived, parasailed. Yeah.
everything. Everything.
I started my own business,
Wrote books.
wrote books.
This actress.
I'm
Oh,
telling you, y'all. Bye
look
bye.
at God. Look at God. That's what, yeah, you never know. See, God's plans are perfect. They are much better than ours. And yeah,
And trust
life.
the process because
And
He's
then
the
also,
ultimate father.
yeah, yes, yes. Trust the process, definitely. And I wanted to add that the good thing about being an empty nester, as we said earlier on, is that now you have the time to explore different things that you may not have had the opportunity to do when you had the kids because you were so, I'm talking about myself. You get so involved in the children and their needs and wondering, their whereabouts and trying to accommodate for others, scheduling and doing everything, doing the most that, it's easy to kind of forget about you and forget about yourself. So, once they're going,
And
and I'm
that
even
pottery class that you always wanted to take,
at pottery.
you always wanted to learn how to knit.
Yeah,
You want to get into yoga and take a yoga class and improve your body and your spiritual being and
mhm.
be able to not have to put on your bathrobe.
And everything is done in the
That's
form
a
of
really big thing. We're laughing about it, but when you got kids in the house, you have to be
yeah,
cautious about how you walk around and what you put on. And sometimes you just don't feel like it. When you're an
absolutely.
empty nester, you owe no one any
You can walk
explanation.
around in those short shorts that your kids
You
didn't want you
can
to walk
walk around in those Daisy Dukes. Come on, baby.
around. Yes, you can. You can do all those wonderful things. So, don't be
Oh,
on this end where you're depressed and sad. Look at it as a blessing. It's just another
it's a
blessing.
blessing.
It's
It's
another
another
phase in life.
blessing.
And I, like I said, I had the one that's out. In a second, I was so much better with this. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been here and done that already. Oh, you're
See?
leaving when?
You've
When is that
gotten
happening?
accustomed to it.
Yeah. And it's already because two of them are, not here now. And I'm like, the environment is shifting in my house. Like
The environment is shifting.
it's shifting again. We went through that with the first. It was like, okay, it's different. And it's always so amazing to us in this house how different it is when one person leaves and now when the second is getting ready to go. It's like, okay, we got to get adjusted to this now, to three. And it's even different for the kids. They're like calling the other one's names. And they're like, oh, that's right. They're not here. So
Right.
yeah,
That
it's been,
that's less happy meals and
oh
you know what I
yes.
mean? You
Yes.
have a
Ooh,
few more
more dollars.
dollars.
Well, more
Latoya
dollars.
said she wanted to skydive and bungee jump, but now can't. Can you expand,
Oh,
Latoya? Why can't you?
Yeah, she
Why
said she's
can't you?
it's because of your disability, Latoya.
Oh, she has. Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't bungee jump, but I did skydive.
Latoya, you can go paint if you like painting. You can go to
Yeah.
those tip and paints and stuff like that. And I don't know what else. It's other things. Like, what's something
There's
that you would
tons
like
of
to do?
things that I still haven't done that are less adventurous that I would like to do. Like I brought up pottery. I took a pottery class in college once for a credit. You know how you had those, what you call them?
Yeah, those like
I forget.
electives.
Yeah,
Whatever.
electives. I'm like, I'm gonna take a pottery class. I absolutely loved it.
you you know what I immediately got a visual of? Remember that movie about with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze with the pottery?
Ditto.
Yes. Yes, yes. I don't know.
She
I
said
don't
she
know
can't walk around in nude because I hear my mom's voice and it's scary. I
why.
don't hear my mama voice.
What is your house, Latoya? You
This is
can
my
walk
house.
around and be free.
I don't hear nothing
Nothing,
but the
not a
birds chirping.
thing. The birds chirping in the breeze. You just
That's it. Twerpy twerp, twerp, chirp, chirp. I'm
Latoya,
I'm I'm good. You gonna have to
just
work on
try it
that,
one day.
Latoya. It's
Yeah,
it's so
it's
so
liberating.
freeing,
I haven't done
invigorating.
it, I haven't done it yet, Latoya. I have
Cause you
still.
can't.
I can't do it yet. I'll be in my late 60s by the time I'm able to do it.
Then you're gonna be like, ooh,
Ooh, ooh, I'm gonna need.
ooh,
Ooh, I might need to
where
do
that
something
come
else.
from?
Right, what's that?
You
Latoya,
know, the
just do a little
comedian
bit at a
said,
time.
get to know yourself better. What better way to get to know yourself better?
Right.
I'm just saying, give it a shot, Latoya. Give it a shot.
Latoya, take it one step, baby steps. Do top first or bottom first, whichever one you prefer, and just then try it again, with the next piece, just one layer at a time. And you'd be like, oh, okay, that's not her. I thought I heard
Once
somebody.
you do that, you'll never go back.
I don't know. I get a little breeze. I might be a little breezy and chilly, but we'll see. Try it in the summertime when it's not.
Oh yeah, definitely has to be the right time, right environment. But I mean, the whole point is when you get out of the shower and you want to go check the boiled eggs that you had started, you ain't got to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's some
You can just go
positive. You ain't
check
got.
the eggs. I'm
That's
just
something I didn't even think about. You you don't even have to throw anything on.
no, you could just
Just
go
go.
pop the 2 pieces of toast in the toaster to go with the eggs and going back to doing what you know what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Just eating your
And
birthday food and just be free.
the right, be free.
Ooh, that sounds like
The
liberation, right?
Lord wants us to be free
The Lord- in more ways than one.
in more
Spiritually,
ways than one.
there's a
I mean,
spiritual
that's how
freedom.
he made us.
Yeah, we did come like that.
We didn't get no loincloth until somebody sinned. Thank you very much, ma'am, sir. We know who
Miss,
that is, but
right, Miss Ma'am and Mr. Sir.
Mr.
Thank
Sir,
you.
Miss Ma'am,
Mm.
we didn't have no loincloth. That's how
We
I look at it. This
yeah,
what
yeah.
he desired me to do anyway.
He said, "Be free. Just experience,
Free as a
experience
bird.
the world, experience everything." I, I
Oh,
whoa, that's something. Could you imagine walking around outside like that, like out the great outdoors?
I
Well,
could.
people do it. People do it. You have exhibitionists and things like
Well,
that.
yeah, that's a whole nother topic. You
Yeah, it is.
digress.
I did digress. Let me get back on topic. What were we talking about, Latoya?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Minister Terry said, I learned about the four circles. Oh, I learned about the four circles of faith from a female YouTuber named Lisa Montgomery, a former heroin addict. And I think he listed all
Mm,
those things up there in the chat. Yes, he did. So if you're interested in the four circles, just scroll up on the chat. So
okay.
Nightbot said, you're the bomb. All right. So yes, Lord. So yeah, so we pretty much what we talked about empty nesting and it kind of went into, exhibitionism, if that's a word.
It's not exhibitionism if no one's watching.
That
Don't
gotta
nobody
have
see you
eyes.
but God. He
That,
already know what you look like.
that is very true. He already knows every little dimple, every little crevice you have. So Yeah, just try
I
one day.
mean, wasn't it David that prayed naked?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So it's all right to do it. Like it's a couple people in the
He
Bible that was a little
you
naked.
ain't had nothing from the Father. You not
Not a
had nothing.
thing.
These clothes are for, the neighbors.
That right. Okay. Yes. They're for the ones who might have sensitive eyes and may not want to see
But here's
all that.
another point
Thank
of
you for
the
bringing
empty
us back.
nesting.
Thank you. Bring it back.
Bring it back. Believe it or not, um, once it once your children leave the nest and they come more further and further into maturity and adulthood, sometimes you learn from them.
So true. That's very true. Hmm.
You learn from them.
Yeah, I've
And
experienced.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna just say I've experienced it. That's so weird, like the reversal. And it's like, okay, so I've learned it from my one that left, and I learned it when my kids were getting older. Also, like before they left out the house, I experienced a little bit of that. But I guess it definitely what happened afterwards as well. And it's
Mhm.
almost like I love. It's a beautiful reflection, though, if you think about it, because
Mhm.
it's the things that you instilled into them, that foundation, and then they sometimes tweak it and add their own thoughts. Yeah,
Exactly.
and they think about things you might not have thought about, and they say, "You like,
Right.
oh,
Or they bring another twist and excuse me, and they you learn more about them as an adult because just because you raised or reared a child a certain way, they're going to eventually still come into their own at some point. And now you're learning something about them. Like, oh, I
mhm,
didn't know that you didn't like blue. All this
mm,
time I thought you liked blue. Well, that's all you ever bought me. You never said anything. Well, I didn't want to hurt your feelings, Mom, but I don't like blue. Now you're
yeah,
like, well, what color is it you like? Purple. Okay. You could have told me that. So you learn, stuff about them that you didn't know. I guarantee you'll learn something about your child once they become an adult that you really didn't know.
yeah. Wow. Yep, it's true. It's so very true. So I don't know. Anybody have any questions in the comments? So I see it looks like people are listening. Yeah, that was
Cause
a
we
real good
talk,
point. I'm glad you.
cause we be talking.
I know we do, and they listening. Thank you for listening, everybody. But yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that one up because that's another perk right there, if you ask
It's
me.
another perk.
Hmm. And
Yeah,
now, and you can also you develop a different relationship with their
you
a
do.
slightly different relationship with their kids when they
It's
leave.
still mother child, but
Hmm.
that hopefully that friendship blossoms even more
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
they're, at the end of the day, you're still their parent, their mom, their dad. And when something happens, what do?
Hmm.
They run right back to their parent. And for those of us that have lost parents,
Hmm.
you feel that. I don't care how old you get, your parent is your parent.
Hmm.
And, I remember getting my heart broken for the first time in my early 20s. And, I thought I was grown. You know,
Check what your mama gave you.
and yes, and I was crushed. I was crushed. I couldn't believe somebody could hurt me so badly. What did I do? I ran home to mama. And
Hmm.
what did I do? I laid my head in my dad's lap and cried like a baby.
Yeah.
So that part of that relationship, however you've cultivated it, is not going to go away. It's not.
Right. I mean, because still, like you said, you're still that child's, even though they're a young adult, they're a young adult, you're still their parent.
Hmm.
So they know that there's safety there. They know there's protection. They know there's good
They come to
guidance.
you for comfort, yes.
Yeah. And
And
they might not,
sometimes you go to them for comfort.
sometimes that's a switcheroo. Hmm.
So,
That's
the whole dynamic of the parent-child relationship evolves constantly over the period of time, to the point where now my mom requires care,
mm-hmm.
you know? And now it's like, yeah, now we've got to care for her. So the whole thing is an evolution, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You just got to go through it. Go ahead, you read that.
Yeah, Geeky Girls Journal. That's not weird. A wise parent will teach a child not to depend solely on their parents for their source of knowledge. I learn from my nieces and nephews all the time. They are part of my four circles of faith. Remember, a wise man will have many counselors. Yep.
This
It
is
said, yep,
actually correct.
that is correct. Yep. You have many
Yep.
counselors. And yeah, I think, some parents may look at it as like, wow, my kids give me advice, but I welcome it, because their perspectives might be different from yours. And then when you have that conversation with them and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I could see that, or that makes sense. Or,
And sometimes they help you to see from a different lens,
mm-hmm,
which is what you need to do. Because sometimes, we as older folk, we get into a rut.
mm-hmm.
No, this is the way it is. This is how it is.
When we talking about that, yeah, right.
Yeah, we were. And
We're,
things change.
things change. And sometimes if you're older, you could just be so set, they used to say set in your
Set in
ways.
your ways.
Set in your ways, and you don't want to
Can't
change
teach
anything.
an old dog new tricks.
Can't teach old dog new tricks.
You
And
can if they want to learn.
yes, absolutely. I agree 100% with that. They have to be willing to learn and
They have
willing
to be willing to learn.
yeah, and you have to be open enough to listen to different perspectives and try to get an understanding of where people are coming from. Like just because you say it's that way doesn't mean that's the only way to do it. You can do things more than one way, and still be successful. So yeah, I don't know. I'm one that says also listen to those perspectives, even if it's your children. And I just think it also shows how interconnected we really are. What's that?
I'm
Let me
sorry. I'm looking at
go.
Latoya's comment.
How
And
do mothers feel comfortable with going to the clubs with their daughters?
let me tell you something, Latoya. My husband and I have done that, and we had so much fun. We
But
really did. I thought they would be embarrassed of us, but they weren't. And all of their peers were like, man, them your parents? Yo, I wish my parents was like that. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. But we've hung out with our kids, and let me tell you, we had a great time. They were amazed at the energy and that we displayed with the dancing and everything. I didn't feel awkward because, like I said, my kids are good and grown.
yeah, I'll say if that maybe, and I can see what
Depends on the
you're saying.
age.
Yeah, exactly what I was gonna say. It might depend on just the age range because
It
if they're like
does. It
17,
depends on the age range,
you know, like,
because my husband and I both parented at the ages of 23 and 26. Our kids happen to all be 3 years apart. Like
mhm.
literally 3
Yes,
years apart. And so, the age range is such that we can all kind of hang out together,
hmm hmm
and they're all adults. So this is, they're not trying to go to some teeny bop place. Like I said, the youngest is 30. So,
hmm Y'all all good.
once you get 30, you know, the age range stops at you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
go to a club or something and go out dancing. You 30, you getting in anywhere for the most
right.
part.
Yeah,
But we were able to do that, and we've had a blast. But now if you 45 and your child is
17.
20 or
Yeah,
17, that might be a little bit awkward.
yeah. I agree. I think if they're older, like you said, 30 and old, y'all in the same spot, same
Yeah.
club anyway at that point.
Our kids are all 30 and over.
Mhm.
So, yeah. I mean, it's the spot. It's, no matter where we go, it's
Yeah,
like, you know. So that's good though. That's
yeah.
funny.
It's good that you're able to, still enjoy yourself and have a good time with your kids, and not
Yeah.
just be like,
Well,
just
I
sit.
know my son, before I got married, my sons, particularly the younger one, he would get an attitude with guys looking at me. What are you looking at?
What
Why
you
you
like,
look-
little mama?
I mean, did you want me to look like Big Mama? I mean,
Right, that's a compliment. You want your mom to look nice,
I
and people be like,
know,
"Oh, you must
I was
be."
coined the MILF of the neighborhood, and I was like, and for those of you that don't know what that means, look it up because we
Look
can't
at-
talk about that.
Right, we can't
But
say that.
yeah, I was like, "Huh?" Yeah, he used to get really teed,
Yeah,
like,
I
we
can
had
see
to
that.
leave the mall once because some guys were looking at "What they looking at?"
Right.
It's about to go down." Ain't nothing's going down, son. It's
Right. And that's a sign too. He's protecting
and
his
it's the
mother, though.
same. My
Yeah.
husband had the same problem,
Mhm.
with girls looking at him, his daughter's friends, and our kids
Mhm.
are like, "Yeah, don't look at our parents like that. You will disappear." And
Yeah.
and they do. What happened to your friend? Oh no, they weren't right.
Right. Mm-mm. We
Yes,
ain't
MILF.
right.
Latoya knows what MILF is.
Yes. Look, Deacon said, we must remember change is more than metal and paper in your pockets. Yes. Okay. We
Yes.
must remember communication is a two-way street and not a one-way road. Oh, right, Minister Terry. Communication consists of speaking, but more importantly, listening. That's why we have two ears and one mouth. That's what they say.
Yeah, because a lot of times we don't listen. We don't listen as parents. We talk about the kids don't listen. We don't listen either.
And sometimes it's you don't listen because you might have one way, you might be thinking of one way in your mind and you just might not be willing to change whatever that is. So they might be talking and you might just hear wow, 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 because you
Wah,
already
wah,
are
wah.
upset.
Like Charlie
Yeah.
Brown. Wah, wah, wah,
You're like,
wah.
wah, 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 wah. You're like, "Oh, what are they talking about?" But Loving Me Tracy says, yes, I will go to the club with my kids. And look, she put it in big bold letters to
Uh,
club with my kids for one reason. My youngest daughter is a rapper. So I will go to watch her perform and support 24, 23, 21. Yes. Oh, yeah, you got
yes.
those ages.
See?
See, you're
I
not
mean,
alone.
and our kids, they don't, they're not like, we don't want y'all up in there. They be like, come on, we gonna have fun. We gonna have
Yeah,
fun,
they encourage it.
So, I mean, I guess it depends on how you reared your children and what they like and, what they're comfortable with.
Yeah. And it also would depend on what that parent is comfortable with. Like if
Right.
you're not comfortable with doing it and going, then you don't go.
Then don't.
Because then you're gonna look more out of place if you go and you just not comfortable.
Yes, you will.
They be like,
No.
"What you doing here?"
Me and Big Daddy, we were like, hey.
Right. Moto, moto. I
So
tell
it was a
you.
blast. It was a really good time.
Well, sounds great. Well, we are our end star. So anybody else have any? I know. You have anything else to add to this? I feel like I was trying to think of any other questions that I think somebody might ask who may look at this later and have questions about empty
I
nesters
don't
and empty
know. I
nesters.
just think, in summary, empty nesting is a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
Overall, in summary, if we look at it,
Yeah.
because you don't want your children to remain dependent on you, you
Mhm.
know, and we talked about the unfortunate situation where some children have disabilities or whatever, and they'll never be able to leave. And that parent will always have that child there. And that's very difficult as well. So I look at empty nesting as an extended blessing from God
Mhm. Mhm.
that they are coming into their own, and that, now I have time to be me. And like I
Yeah.
said, I got a husband out of it, so I don't know what, I'm just saying, see,
Right. And
I'm
I
just
was
saying.
there. I was at that party. I left my children.
So,
So yeah, I like what you said. I like what you said, and I want to just add to it that um, yes, empty nest syndrome can be scary for some, and it can be, you might get a little anxious. You might even be nervous about what's to come. But I feel like Star, it's a part of the journey, and just embrace it, and just see what happens. What happens because if you nurtured your child and you set the foundation, I mean, you did everything that you can do to that point. Not like, they're going to disappear, but I'm just saying you've done what you can do while they were in your household. Now it's time for them to execute. It's time for them to figure out things without you being there 24 hours a day. And they have to learn. They have to learn just as we
They
learned.
have to learn
Yeah. And I know
and
it may be
savor
difficult.
it because, by the grace of God, it's going to evolve yet again. And your parent is going to become older and dependent, maybe, on you.
Mhm.
And, you'll remember all of those good times and bad when you were able to, lean on your parent for advice or even lay your head in their lap and cry for comfort. And that will help to fuel you in the sense that, wow, my parents did all this for me. I could do this for them.
Mhm.
Because parenting is a big sacrifice. It's a blessing, but it's a huge sacrifice.
Definitely a sacrifice. Yeah. Yep. You summed it up really nicely. Thank you, Star. Definitely a
Yeah.
sacrifice and a blessing. So,
So
yes,
don't
well,
forget talkingmermaidvo.com.
that's right. I should put it back
Go
in.
check it out.
Talking
Check it out, check it
Mermaid.
out, check it out, check it out.
I'm gonna put it back in the chat just in case.
Yes,
Talking
there
Mermaid.
are there's a demo video. I'm sorry, a demo audio. There is some links to in the featured video that will take you to my other social media pages and to YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel.
And tell
Um,
them what your YouTube channel
yes, you
is.
would get that through. No, well, yeah,
Yes.
I can't. I can't remember all that. Just
That's right. Just go to Talking Mermaid.
talkingmermaidvo.com. But in the featured videos or also in the author page, there are the two books that we talked about that I wrote. And also, there's also a link for poetry. And when you click that, it'll take you to one of my videos that I have featured. And then there are others. So you can just watch and listen. And, you know, I think it'll be a good time. I can't wait to start having you all contact me and say, I need voiceover
Yeah.
services.
Get it, get it, get it, get
But
it.
I'll be back on Geeky Girls because it's my
She
road
just,
dog.
that's right. We do's that.
He does
Yeah,
that.
we do's that. She'll be back. So she'll be able to keep you all up to date and, remind you of where to find her. And I'll be reminding you as well. So don't forget, go to talkingmermaidvo.com and check out her YouTube channel. It's Black Mermaid. Is it Black Mermaid? Or it's Star Ridley?
Let's start really.
Uh, it's Star Ridley. What's Black Mermaid? Is that Instagram?
That's why I said just use my web page, my
Just go to
official
the
web
web.
page.
You don't want me to lie to
It'll
you.
take you wherever you need to go.
Yeah, just go there. Don't listen to me. Go to Talking
Yes,
Mermaid.
because I have social media banners and stuff. And so, you can find me.
Just click the link and then go and visit and
Clickety
show her
click,
some
click,
love.
click. And
Yes.
remember, this being a result of empty nesting.
Right. Exactly.
I'm just bringing it back.
I won't quite be there yet, or probably it's
Yes,
going to
but you're
take.
already in process.
Yes, I'm definitely
Mine
in
happened
process.
after the fact.
Yes.
So you're
I
ahead
am.
of the game, my dear.
Yay. Mm-mm. So, all right. Well, anything else you'd like to add before we
No,
close
no,
out? Because you
no,
did
no.
a good summary. All right.
Thank
Well,
you all for coming.
yes, thank you all for coming. Thanks for hanging in here with us. Make sure you go to talkingmermaidvo.com right there to find all things Black Mermaid. Don't forget, click those links and connect with her. And you'll see her back at Geeky Girls Journal, I'm sure.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. See you all later. Have a great, wonderful rest of your week. See you in the next live stream, which is tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.